Guys, I'm sorry. I have muted myself in the confusion of muting you. Uh, I'm just talking about uh, the GoToMeeting. I hope I have explained all the things about the GoToMeeting. Let me uh, let me tell you again if you have missed it. I will be recording the sessions every day, and if you want to review or if you want to go through the recorded session again, you can do that through a Google Drive. I will share you the recorded sessions through a Google Drive, and you can always review at your convenience time. And the other thing is, as I said, please do use the headphones if you speak out, and try to be on mute. Okay, I hope I am audible now for you. Can you please confirm Venkat Mani? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so this training is regarding about the database administration for SQL Server. So as we are talking much more about the data these days, so what I'm saying is, for all the organizations, whether it is a small scale industry or a large scale industry, all the organizations, their business runs upon the data. If they don't have a data, then there is no business. As we look at the shopping websites, all the products will be sold based upon the features that they display, and the other factor is the customer reviews. So nowadays, the situation happening is something like we don't opt for a product unless we see a customer reviews or a product specifications. And not only at the shopping website, but even if you look at the health domain, each and every patient details are uploaded into a database, and that can be reviewed all the time using by a single keyword, maybe your patient ID. And if the data is missed at some point, then the patient health will be in risk. So what I mean to say is, in current period, the data plays a major role for the business. So for all the companies, they need a specialist to manage their databases. And we will be in that position, or the people will be in a position to support and manage the databases of that organization. And there are many other backend database softwares, and SQL Server is one of them. We do have other backend softwares like DB2 Oracle, which also gives the similar type of support for the databases, but the vendors are different. The SQL is a product of Microsoft, and the one other advantage of going with a SQL administration instead of a Oracle is, the first thing is, SQL is a product of Microsoft, which is a very well-known company. And coming to the cost, SQL license cost is very less when compared to the Oracle. And the other is, SQL software you can install on a Windows operating system. I hope many of us are aware about the Windows operating system. We normally use our personal uh, machines on a Windows OS, so we are a bit familiar about that. But if you go for Oracle, it is on Linux. So when you're opting to learn Oracle DBA, the first thing you need to aware about the Linux or Unix operating system. But for SQL, as we are very much habituated of using the Windows operating system, so it's not a big deal for us. And the other factor is the SQL Server or the T-SQL scripting. What are the scripting we use in SQL is completely a common word. If you just read the query or the script, you can easily understand what it does. So I mean to say, in SQL, we don't have any specific technical terms. If you have to pull out the complete data from a table, the syntax would be something like select star. Star indicates all. Select star from table. That's it. That will pull out all the data from the table. So in the same way, we do have many commands, and as I said, the command itself tells you what it does. So you don't need to remember those commands all the way. If you want to back up the database, the command you use is backup database. So it is very easy to learn. And the other factor is we can find many forums online who can assist us on free. If you just go onto the website, you can find multiple forums. I can give an examples like SQL Central, MS SQL tips. So where you can post your query and the MVP, the Microsoft experts, they will reply back to you. They are not a dedicated Microsoft employers, but the people who are in the forums have got a extreme experience. They can go through your issue and they can give the suggestions that can resolve the things. So you can find the solutions online. There's a one more advantage of going for SQL. And the other advantage for the database administration is, as you most of you already know, that for every organizations we have developers, testers, and the administrators. So the developers, they develop the code. Maybe they can use any technical language like .NET or C# or PHP or Java. And the testers who test the application and ensure it works fine. And the database administrators, it's not about the database administrator. I commonly use the administrators. So we can have SharePoint administrators as well, or with other data source administrators. But ultimately, administrators have the full permissions to manage the databases at backend. So here, why we are only going for administration and not for development or not for testing? So I can surely say that if you have to become a developer, maybe the tester could be easy, but it's always risky. The job is always risky. If you want to become a developer, you need to spend at least 3 to 6 months time to learn the things, because it's not something you can do or you can make a magic of within a 1 month of time. And I hope everyone will be going with a minimum of 5 or 6 plus years of experience. So a company will expect more from a person who is going with 6 plus years of experience. And again, the developer position is something like you have to write the complex scripts. And at the same time, once the project being deployed or once the project being built and going smoothly, then the organization might not require you. The necessity of having a developer may be not required by the employer to keep him always. Maybe initially require the developer to design the project, but once it is done, he can have 1 or 2 developers and remove everyone. And it's the same thing for the testers. But coming to the database administrator, the organizations must have a specialized database administrator to manage their databases. Even in recession time, the companies should have someone to take care of their databases. They cannot just fire up the database administrators even in recession time. Even I have noticed in some companies that they have removed the developers, testers, and other areas, but they did not touch the administrators because they are needed. If there is no database administration to support or to manage the database, then the whole business or the whole company is in trouble. Just assume if there is any banking company and at backend they have databases to store all the transactions of the customers, and if they try to, or if they doesn't recruit an administrator, then there is a possibility, like if the database goes offline or if the database gets corrupted or if the server goes down, then that's it. All the information from the customers will be lost. So no organization will take a risk of that. Even though there is a recession, they try to hold at least one or two. In case of 10, they can hold at least 3 or 4 DBAs still with the organization. And even I hope there is a good market for the database administrator currently. And one of the major things among all these things, one of the major thing is the SQL DBA, the database administration for SQL. It is a very easy to learn. You can do all administrative tasks using the graphical user interface. You can do almost 95% of administrative tasks using the GUI. You don't need to write any codes or any complex queries. You will see further in our next going classes, as most of the time I will try to use the GUI. So that's one of the main area where SQL is attracted by most of the people. And even if maybe you not believe, but uh, most of the cases I have observed, there are many people, they have shifted their technology from system engineers or Windows OS build, the one who builds the OS. They have shifted their technology onto a SQL. It is just because you can learn it quickly and it is a very easy. So these are the some of the things I have picked up. And having said that, the main criteria for the organization to pick up a database software is the cost and the support. So usually many organizations can find the employees to support their databases. But the thing to notice is how many people or how many candidates they can find it in the market. I can give an example. In our organization, we do have a DB2 server. It is required for a client specific, for as requested by client, we have to build a DB2 server. That's what the requirement, even though we have SQL servers. So at that point, we struggled to find out a DB2 profile in the market. We struggled for 6 months to find out a DB2 profile in the market. And finally, we went back to the customer or the client saying that we cannot get a specialist from a DB2. Then obviously the client has switched his backend software from DB2 onto the SQL. So what I mean to say is all the organizations, they initially think of all these points. It's not something like we are hosting a software and on the next day we would like to have the people to support that. So when the organization go for any software, they do think of the market, that whether can we find a specialist to support all these things. And for SQL Server, we can find many profiles available, and that's one of the reason most companies are looking forward for using a SQL Server. So these are the some of the key points that makes an organization or a person to move towards SQL. And today I just want to give a brief introduction about the SQL DB and why we should be aware that why we are going for a SQL DBA and why not a Oracle or why not a DB2. So that is what I want to give you the information about that for today. And today we are not going to discuss any technical things. I just want to give a brief introduction about the DBA. And if you have any questions on this one, please let me know. And I would like to know something about you all. It's something like, are you already working? If you're working, then what is the technology, or are you completely new to the database side, or you are into development and you want to switch to this technology? Can we have a quick introduction of everyone so that everyone knows one other? Ishwar, can you start from you? You can unmute yourself and you can just give a 30 seconds introduction. That should be fine.
Hi Vishu, this is Ishwar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in Java. In TCS in Hyderabad. Actually, I'm completely new to database. Uh, so I just switched to developing side to DB side. Java is very complicated. I guess I think so. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, Ishwar, that's great to have you here as you are already aware about the development side.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kaushik?
Hi, I'm Kaushik. I just completed my BTech and came from Masters. I don't have any experience, and I like to learn about database.
Okay, Kaushik, don't worry about the experience. Trust me, after 30 days, you will be acting as a 6+ years of experienced person.
Thank you. It's good to hear you.
Yeah. And money?
Hi everyone, this is Mani. I don't have any experience. I this is my second masters. I completed my masters in Canada and then moved to US. I honestly don't have any job experience, and database has always been my point of interest since long time. Not because all my cousins are working in database.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
that's
looking.
great to hear. And you already have few people working in that stream, so you are a bit familiar about the things that going to happen with the database.
Sure, I am.
And that's
Yeah,
all. That's great to hear that you have a double masters.
yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Yes,
Mani,
sir.
don't
Thank
worry
you.
that you are very new to database, but we'll learn going forward.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Good to know
Yeah.
that. Thank you. Yeah.
Uh, is it Nagavender?
Hello all, I'm Navinder. I don't have any experience. I recently passed out from the BTech. That's it.
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you, Nagavender. And
Yeah,
yeah, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Yeah, Venkat.
Right, everyone. I'm Venkat. Actually, I work in railways past. I don't have any IT knowledge.
Okay, Venkat,
Yeah,
that's not an issue.
yeah,
I think you are new to the IT,
yeah.
but still, it is
Last,
all right for you to
I
learn the.
moved to US 1 year back.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, still it doesn't matter. Even though you are new to the IT, I hope you will quickly speed up the things and you will learn the database activities.
I hope to. Thank you.
Yeah, Nitin.
Hi, my name is Nitin. I'm new to the database. Actually, I came from the computer science background. Even though I'm from computer science, I don't even know any programming language. I just want to know. I came to the database easy to learn and choose the field so we can do it quickly.
Sorry, Nitin. I think you are not using a headphones because your voice is not much clear. So I understand your statement that you are very new to the database side. So I got a conclusion that most of us are very new to the database. So the intention I want you to speak out is I just want to understand, at what level we are, so that based upon that I can start the classes from my end. So from your statements, from all of your statements, I understand most of you are very new to the database, or one or two are very new to IT. So please bear with me because I will be discussing maybe from the scratch onwards, maybe from the basics. We need to learn from the basics. So the one who is already aware about the things, please bear with us because we do have other people who are very new to these topics, and hopefully we'll have healthy discussions going forward. And one more thing I would like to tell you is it should not be a one-way communication. So I don't want to make it as a one-way. So we need to have a very frequent interactions. So what we do is I don't say it as an assignment, but make it yourself at front and create some tasks. Maybe once we done with a topic every day, please try to make yourself to practice it on the same day, or else sometimes what happens is if you just forget it and if you think of doing the practice on a later day, uh, you 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 will completely forget the topics. So please try to practice the things on the same day, spend an hour and finish off the things so that you can you can remember those topics maybe after an year as well. So please make yourself available 1 hour for class and 1 hour for the review. And okay guys, that's it from my side. So have you got any questions for me?
Currently, no. Currently, no.
Okay, man. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself, right? As you know, my name is Vishwanath and have 9+ years of experience as database administrator and have started with versions of SQL from 2000, and the current SQL version we have in the market is 2014, and we are eagerly looking forward for 2016 as well. And I do have experience on all high availabilities. Sorry, I don't want to use any technical terms as of now, so I will limit myself at the moment. So going forward, we will try to discuss each and every topic, and we make ourselves comfortable. Okay guys, if you don't have any questions, I would like to wind up the call. Maybe I will use the technical terms but not at the start. Maybe we need to understand what it means, then we need to use the terms. That's what I mean. I don't want to make you confused or scary about the things. And you can always email me once we are done with the session going forward. If you have any questions or if you are stuck up at any point, you can always drop me an email, and I will try to reach you out at the earliest. Okay guys, thank you for your time, and we'll see you on Monday, and have a happy weekend. And you have to use the same URL for all the complete training. It's not a new on every day, so you have to use the same link on every day. Thank you guys, I'm closing the call now.